What if the real story behind BTS's upcoming ARIRANG album isn't about chart numbers, streaming milestones, or headline records, but about something far more personal? What if the most powerful influence behind this comeback isn't just visible in rap verses or production credits, but in quiet studio conversations, honest late-night critiques, and one member pushing another to trust his own artistic instincts? And what if Jimin's recent comments subtly revealed that Suga played a much deeper role in shaping this era than most people initially realized? Stay with me until the end, because today we're breaking down exactly what Jimin revealed about Suga's involvement in preparing BTS's new music, and why this might completely reshape how we understand BTS's creative dynamic in 2026. Before we dive in, if you love deep, fact-based K-pop analysis, comeback breakdowns, and real insight into how your favorite artists create their music, make sure you subscribe to Asian Pop Culture channel, turn on notifications, and become part of our growing global community. We don't just follow headlines, we break down the story behind the music. Now, let's get into it. BTS's 2026 comeback with the album ARIRANG represents far more than just a new release. It marks their first full group album following military service and several years of individual artistic exploration. Each member returned not only older, but musically expanded. Their solo projects allowed them to experiment with different genres, production approaches, and lyrical styles. That kind of growth creates both opportunity and challenge. How do you merge 7 evolved identities back into one cohesive group sound? According to interviews and media coverage surrounding ARIRANG's preparation, BTS didn't simply reunite and record pre-made tracks. Instead, they entered a highly collaborative and intensive creative process. Songwriting camps were organized, members rotated studio pairings, internal discussions were frequent, and by their own descriptions, honest and demanding. This was not a passive recording cycle, this was reconstruction. Rather than relying heavily on outside direction, the group leaned into internal collaboration. They debated structure, they refined lyrics repeatedly, they tested melodies against different arrangements. Concepts were challenged before being finalized. And within those discussions, one name consistently stands out when fans analyze the creative structure: Suga. Jimin, in particular, described an atmosphere of continuous feedback. Ideas flowed back and forth, songs were reworked multiple times. Nothing was accepted just because it sounded good enough. That kind of environment requires trust, it requires technical expertise, and it requires emotional stability. Suga brings all three. Long before ARIRANG, Suga had established himself as a core production force within BTS. His background in composition and arrangement means he naturally thinks in terms of structure. He doesn't just approach music as performance, he approaches it as architecture. In collaborative songwriting environments, that mindset is invaluable. When a melody feels strong but lacks tension, someone has to recognize it. When a chorus doesn't fully land emotionally, someone has to adjust the dynamics. When transitions feel abrupt, someone has to refine the layering. These details are subtle, but they define whether a track feels cohesive or fragmented. Jimin's comments about internal exchanges suggest that members were deeply involved in this refinement stage, and in groups where multiple members contribute creatively, the one with strong arrangement instincts often becomes a stabilizing presence. Not dominating, not controlling, but guiding. For ARIRANG, that guidance may have been crucial. The album's theme reportedly reflects heritage, growth, and reconnection. The title itself carries cultural symbolism. After years apart, both physically during service and artistically through solo projects, BTS had to rediscover their collective sound. That is not automatic. It requires negotiation between individual expression and group identity. Within songwriting camps, the members reportedly paired up in different combinations to spark fresh chemistry. This rotating system reduces creative stagnation and encourages unexpected results. But fluid systems also need anchors. Suga's production experience likely served as that anchor, grounding experimental ideas while preserving cohesion. What makes this even more compelling is Jimin's own artistic journey. In past album cycles, Jimin took on leadership responsibilities, even acting as project manager for certain creative directions. He gathered ideas, presented unified concepts, and helped bridge communication between members in the label. That role demands confidence, and confidence is something that develops over time. Jimin has openly spoken in previous years about self-doubt regarding his artistic authority. Growth, especially creative growth, rarely happens alone. Support matters. Suga is often described by members as direct and honest during discussions. His feedback can be sharp, but it is rooted in improvement rather than ego. That kind of dynamic can be intimidating, but also empowering. If Suga encouraged Jimin during ARIRANG's preparation, whether through structural advice, lyrical feedback, or simply reassurance that an idea worked, that dynamic reflects something deeper than casual collaboration. It reflects partnership, and partnership is essential in high-pressure comebacks. The first full group album after military service carries enormous expectations. Global anticipation is intense. Industry analysts are already speculating about chart impact and streaming numbers. But internally, the pressure feels different. It's about legacy. Will the reunion feel nostalgic? Will it feel progressive? Will it redefine BTS's global narrative? These questions don't get answered on stage. They get answered in the studio. Artists doubt drafts, they scrap verses, they debate whether a hook hits hard enough. They question whether the album reflects who they've become. In those moments, having someone who can step back and say, "This works, trust it," can shift everything. That might explain why Jimin emphasized internal dialogue in interviews. The tone he described wasn't rivalry, it was mutual respect. And mutual respect allows creative risk. Suga's analytical personality likely helped maintain balance when ideas clashed. His understanding of rhythm, pacing, and emotional build gives him the ability to critique without dismantling confidence. Imagine a late-night session. Jimin introduces a melody idea shaped by his solo experiences. Another member proposes adjusting the lyrical phrasing. Suga listens carefully, then suggests altering the instrumental progression before the chorus to amplify tension. That one adjustment could elevate the entire track. These micro decisions rarely make headlines, but they shape how powerful a song ultimately feels. When fans listen to ARIRANG, they may not consciously recognize those refinements, but they will feel them. Cohesion is emotional, even when its mechanics are technical. Another layer to consider is emotional support. Reuniting after years of separation isn't just logistical, it's psychological. Each member matured individually. Returning to a group dynamic requires vulnerability. Jimin's reflections hint at an atmosphere where members felt safe expressing incomplete ideas. That safety does not appear overnight. It develops from years of shared struggle. From trainees facing uncertainty to global icons redefining legacy, BTS's journey has always been collective. A comeback like ARIRANG isn't built on nostalgia alone. It's built on rediscovered synergy. And synergy cannot be faked. It emerges from trust.
That's why Jimin acknowledging Suga's influence resonates strongly with fans. It reinforces a core truth about BTS. Their strength lies not only in individual brilliance, but in interconnected creativity. As anticipation builds worldwide, media outlets focus on projected numbers. Streaming predictions dominate discussions. Chart forecasts circulate daily. But for many fans, the most compelling element isn't statistics, it's evolution. Seeing Jimin confidently discuss creative preparation shows maturity. Recognizing Suga's supportive role highlights teamwork over ego. If ARIRANG succeeds both critically and commercially, it will likely be because of that collaborative foundation. Listen carefully when the album drops. Pay attention to transitions between vocal lines and rap segments. Notice how emotional themes evolve across the track list. Observe whether nostalgia is balanced with progression. You might detect subtle fingerprints of shared refinement. Because when artists openly describe songwriting camps and internal experimentation, they are offering rare transparency. They are revealing the work behind the art. And that transparency strengthens the connection between artist and audience. So what should ARMY expect from ARIRANG? Expect layered storytelling shaped by lived experience. Expect vocals that carry maturity. Expect rap verses grounded in introspection. Expect production that honors heritage while pushing forward. Expect the invisible threads of conversation woven into every track. Jimin's comments are not casual praise. They suggest intentional construction, step by step, idea by idea. Suga's role appears both technical and emotional. He contributed creatively. He reinforced leadership growth. He refined structure. He stabilized experimentation. That combination could define BTS's next global chapter. As release day approaches, continue following verified interviews and official updates. Each detail adds context to the bigger creative picture. And when ARIRANG finally arrives, listen beyond the surface. Listen for collaboration. Listen for growth. Listen for the echo of late-night studio debates and quiet encouragement. Because sometimes the most powerful part of a song isn't just what you hear, it's the teamwork you don't see. If you enjoyed this deep dive into BTS's creative process and want more fact-based K-pop analysis, comeback breakdowns, and real insight into the biggest stories in Asian pop culture, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow ARMY, and subscribe to Asian Pop Culture channel. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss our next exclusive BTS analysis. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Purple Heart.